taxes pay you. You work for me. And that's the attitude that we have to develop. We have to develop that attitude, because they've taken this whole relationship of master and servant and turned it upside down. We have to turn it right side up, right? They work for us, and we got to let them know that. But at the same time, in order for us, our voice to have any meaning, we have to come together as a community and speak in one voice. In Ferguson, Missouri, blacks represent almost 70% of the population of Ferguson. Yet they are totally, 5 or 6% of that population goes to the polls. Huh? That's a problem. That's the problem. It ain't a police problem. They got 53 policemen on that force, and only 3 of them are African Americans. The vast majority of the community is African Americans. But they don't vote. They don't take control of the political process. The district attorney, man, that let this guy off.
McCullough.
Man, he's an elected official. Huh? Listen, I just recently heard a tape, some woman undercover, tape Ku Klux Klan rally. And you know what the head Klansman was talking to his people about? Talking about voting. Yeah. Y'all got to go to the polls and vote for me.
That's right.
And I'll deal with this. The Tea Party, a bunch of raggedy ass human beings took over, started out with nothing, and started controlling school boards and municipal boards, and ended up in the House of Representatives, in the U.S. Congress, and shut the American government down. They shut it down. And they did this through the political system, through the political process. We are not going to get anything until we get involved in the political process. And that means y'all, when you hit 18, man, you got to vote. You got to register to vote. Huh? And if we got blacks all across this country to register to vote, our problems, for the most part, would be solved, especially in communities where we are the majority.
Our votes don't count. Like when we're 18, our votes don't count. The electoral votes count.
No.
In the presidential.
Yeah. In the presidential election, with your votes, that the electoral votes are not part of the state
Or local.
State process, the local process. All politics is local, right? You elect. Yes.
What about the process of voting people out?
Of voting people out?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
Oh, yeah. Those are recalls, and
Do it by petition. Do it by petition.
okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, one problem with the theory that you vote and you can become part of the process, the political process as we speak today is so polluted by money that even if you get involved in the process, it's not always the case, but in many cases there's no difference between the Republican and the Democrat because they're both answering to the same paycheck that they have to raise money in ridiculous amounts, that the political process, I vote I've always voted and I love the process, but the way that we can get money, the process is polluted. You gotta get a amendment to the Constitution that says we don't care about our right to free speech as it applies to political campaigns. We as a people give up our right of free speech in order to get money out of the political campaign. Because if you don't get the money out, it really doesn't matter.
I think it still matters. And the Tea Party has demonstrated this here. And like I said in the beginning, all politics is local, right? Now you raise a good issue. You know, American politics is two sources of power in this country. One is money, and the other is the vote, right? Each individual has a right to vote. Money, the role of money in politics is to buy votes, okay? But if we, as a community, vote together for our common interests, you understand, for the things that we need for our community, education, housing, healthcare, all the things that require, that make for a caring community, they can spend all the money they want. If we got the numbers and we stand together, we will assert our interests. Our interests will prevail, right? But now, he raises a legitimate question about money. We don't have money, but we got numbers. And as long as we come together collectively, our problems will be solved, right? We will control the politics of our community. You will control the politics of Patterson if you come together and you got the votes. And all y'all that talk about, well, why vote? You know, not to vote is a vote. Because when you don't vote, you say, it's just like if I smack you in the face and you don't say nothing, then it's all right, right? You know, so you telling me that I can do this again and again and again, right? So not to vote is a vote. And we have to get our community to vote. I don't want to, yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying about the voting. I think, and you said about the money process. That's why I feel like if you vote people out, then maybe you can get somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
No, if we come together collectively, we can vote people in. Instead of marching by politicians' offices talking about no justice, no peace.
Right.
You understand? We can pick up the phone and say, listen, this is what we want, right? This is what the community wants, okay? And, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah. Yes, we are.
I'd just like to say to the young man over here, the Electoral College is important because it actually rolls up to one point. Your votes for that state is controlled by the Electoral College. Those people picked to represent you on the voting line. So if you all pick blue, then that electoral representative must pick blue. So your vote is tied to the Electoral College. That's how it goes. It's by your numbers, that person is supposed to vote in your favor. The other, just your vote, is called the popular vote, and that's important too. Again, let me just say, I agree with you that we need to do more than just march. I'm not one to march.
Yeah.
But as this brother said, we have to change our representatives. And how do we get what we want when we change our representatives? We can't keep voting the same people in, hoping to get something different. We gotta change that strategy.
Yes.
And if you see that you take one of those people out or two of those people out, the rest of them will say, we gotta start giving them something. We're losing control here. We did have the numbers, we may still have the numbers here in Patterson, but they're slipping because the Latino generation is growing.
Yeah.
Their numbers are growing, and soon they're gonna silence our vote.
Yeah.
They'll be the ones that are in control. They're now like 10,000 away from the national majority of the United States, 10,000. They may be the first majority, because that's who really speaks for the rest of the minority. I'm sorry, minority. They may be the largest minority because they were only 10,000 people away. But that's who speaks for the rest of the minorities. You go by the first largest minority. And in America, we are the largest minority. But we are losing those numbers to the Latinos. And once they become the largest, all of their agenda will be in front of ours. And it may not always be the same. So we do need that representation, but we need to do that by voting, and we need to vote and change what we have.
And, yeah, I want y'all, I hope you listen to the system. Because this is what we have, we need, and we don't have in our public schools, is civics.
Right.
You know, they don't teach our youth about the politics of the community. They don't learn about how the federal government works and about the Constitution and how it works.
Right,
You know,
right.
all we get is these, you know,
Teaching the test.
yes, they teaching the tests, and they preparing them to be replacement parts at McDonald's,
That's right.
you know, at Burger King's, and that's it. You know what I mean? And you don't need to know how the country runs. You don't need to know nothing about politics. You know what I mean? And this is where the community has to step in. And we have to begin to start holding these courses and teaching our youth the civics, the politics of the community, right? And we have to begin to, you know, we got to get the pastors in the churches.
Right.
You know, their congregation comes from the community, and it goes into the church,
That's right.
and then it comes back out into the community, huh? But if the pastor, which is the leader of this congregation, were to educate that congregation, you know, teach them civics, teach them politics, teach them how to form block associations and take over community boards and education board and the police department and all the rest of that, and then send them back out into the community, huh? They would be an asset, huh? Then we really begin to have a sense of community, right?
Right, right.
And until we begin to start thinking like this here and start acting like this here, you know, it's gonna be the same thing over and over and over. If you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got.
That's it.
On that note.
Thank you.